TitleMatchNetwork.com.
How did Hawk and Shawn Michaels make peace? Because I know the last time we did an interview with Hawk, he didn't have a lot of good things to say about Shawn.
No, well, I tell you, they made peace, to be honest with you, at that convention.
Right.
Athletes International Ministries convention. Shawn was there. Hawk had asked me. I told Hawk, I said, man, Mike, I said, you may not want to go. It's a Christian event. He goes, no, I'll go. I said, you sure you want to go? He goes, yeah, let me call. I'll call you right back. He talks to Dale, his wife. He goes, yeah, Dale and I want to go. Now, Dale, to this day, I don't think still believes. I still don't believe she believes all the way because she fought it tooth and nail. You know, and after he died, she thought people were trying to use Mike's death as a platform for their Christianity, which I don't believe they did. But, you know, it was, if a guy has a chance to be sincere, he's sincere, you know, like Nikita or Ted or somebody, you know. So, but I did watch Hawk and Shawn put their arms around each other, kneel down, and in front of all of us. Now, there's guys there with Super Bowl rings on, pro wrestlers, you know, Joe Jackson, who played football, everybody. And they're crying like babies, saying, Shawn saying, man, I can't believe I did what I did, and my life was a mess, and I've, you know, cleaned it up. And Hawk did it for the very first time that day. And everybody knew Hawk's attitude. He didn't do anything halfway. If he believed in something, it was 150 miles an hour or nothing. And that's what he did with this. And what he started to believe, you know.
How did you guys wind up in TNA for the surprise appearance? How did that come about?
Which one was that?
It was for Jerry Jarrett when they were doing the pay-per-views.
Yeah, but do you talk about the one I did with Steiner?
I think you guys didn't you guys go in together, you and Hawk, for one time?
We did for a few shows, right? But we never did a pay-per-view with them, I don't think.
Maybe it was just their TV.
Yeah, we did a couple of TV tapings for TNA, and I was actually surprised it didn't go on longer than it did because we got Dixie Carter loved us. We got along good with Dixie. Of course, we did a 6-man with Jeff.
Right.
Got a standing ovation. And I don't really understand what happened because their ratings were horrendous. And when Hawk and I were on there, the ratings jumped up a whole 2 points when we were on.
Do you think it was a money issue or?
Well, I don't know because we weren't charging them that much money. I mean, we were giving them a break because they knew they were starting. I just think they knew where it's probably going to head. You know, as a matter of fact, I mean, when I was at a football game, Michigan and Ohio State last year. I was at a row 70, and as I walking up, I said, who do I see in the stands? Scotty Steiner. I said, what are you doing here? He goes, yeah, I got to talk to you. I said, okay, game's over. And he came down and talked to me about talking to Jeff with TNA. So that's what I'm in the process of doing now is I'm talking with TNA to see if I can't work out some with them. I'm not going to wait all year for WWE. If I could help out the wrestling business, TNA is like the NWA. That's the way I look at it. I would love to help out TNA. I know all the guys there. I think I'd be a great agent there too. You know, so.
What are your thoughts on Jeff Jarrett as a person? Do you like him or?
Jeff's a great guy. Yeah, Jeff's a great guy. See, Jeff's a good buddy of mine with Owen Hart, man. Jeff and Owen were close, and Owen and I were close. You know, so we had a lot of, you know, cross collateralization with friends there. You know.
What are your thoughts on Vince Russo? I think you were in a match with him when you guys were with TNA, right? Or was he involved in something that you guys did?
He was involved in something with TNA. I think he was a little bit behind the scenes. You know, I really don't know Vince Russo good enough. The part I know about Vince Russo now, I know he changed his belief system too.
Right.
And I give him all the credit in the world because it's real hard in this wrestling business to keep focus. And I think that with, you know, the WCW end of it, when Vince was with WWF, I think he let that get to his head a little bit. And he had a lot of favoritisms with the DX thing and all that. And he looked right past the people that were drawing the money for the company. Because all he had to do was look at the sales of marketing stuff and he would have seen. Jax could have told him where Hawk and I were number 1 and 2 in sales. I mean, in all their merch, you know, action figures. So,
right.
And Russo didn't take that into heart.
Did you get along with Vince?
Yeah, got along with him great. You know, just it was that long of stints because he had his favorites there that were in his ear all the time at the time when he was with WWF.
Right. Now, you and Hawk made a one-time appearance. I think it was against RVD and Kane back in 2003. How did that come about?
Philly.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we were sitting there, not in limbo, but did our tours in Japan. We were ready to finish up maybe and have one last big run in WWF, WWE at the time, because it wasn't WWE then. We were in Philadelphia, and of course, great city like this, we've always had great success in Philadelphia at the Civic Center and here. got a standing ovation. Crowd went nuts. They should have did that night is they should have put the belts right on us that night against RVD and King. They should have. There was no, I mean, the way the reaction of the crowd was, you know, when I caught RVD with to do that big spin kick and I caught him in the air and powerbombed the one arm and then Hawk caught Kane with the clothesline off the top, it was over. Let's go home.
Right.
Yeah, but, you know, Hawk wanted to prove to Vince that he's going to be a good businessman. He says, hey, beat me. And they beat him that night, you know. And that's the kind of guy he was. That's where his attitude was that night. And then the next night, which we couldn't understand why they didn't bring us in right away, because the next night we were in Baltimore. Vince is trying to do promos. He's getting all pissed off, yelling in the background, what the heck is going on? Why is there so much noise? And somebody says, Vince, LOD's in the ring. And he goes, all right, time out. You know, so, I mean, there's a situation of business where the boss let past garbage get in the way of making money because he had past heat with Hawk from years ago.
I was going to ask, yeah.
And Vince still held pretty much well, he did hold a bad grudge. And we should have made money. We were willing to say, throw the ball on our backs. Throw it on our backs now. Let us run with it. You don't have a Warrior. You don't have Hogan. You don't have anybody. Throw it on the LOD's backs finally. You don't ever put any faith in a tag team. Here's your chance. Let's do it.
Why do you think that is that Vince doesn't put?
You know, I don't know if it's double the pay or whatever. I don't know. In our situation, he really had a problem with my partner.
Why? What's them?
Well, I mean, he called up during a couple of his drunken or high tirades and threatened to kill his family. And, you know, that guy takes it a little personal so that you threaten to kill his family. Vince, I'm going to kill you. You're young, you know. Well, I'm going to strangle you young, you know, with their, you know, with their fallopian tubes, you know. But that was just Hawk, and that was the way he was. And everybody knew it wasn't him talking. That was just the time. I mean, you got to understand, he had little demons, Jake Roberts in his ear like this and Beefcake in the other ear. And, you know, Vince don't like you, man. He don't like you. He don't like you. He's screwing you, you know. And he blew it. You know, he blew it. He stayed. Everybody else came back and did TV and Hershey, Hawk, and the Berserker.
Right.
And Jim Neidhart stayed and went to the pot restaurants in Amsterdam.
Right.
You know, and they never came back. So that's pretty much ended the WWF stint.
What were your thoughts on working with Rob and Kane? Easy?
Great guys. Yeah.
How well received were you by the rest of the locker room that night?
I thought phenomenal. I mean, the locker room to me was happy to have us there, man. We were going to, you know, we had, all right, we're going to start selling out some houses. Because at that time, the houses were not selling out at that time, you know?
Right.
There were two good markets right there, Philly and Baltimore, which they did great business. But, you know,